How are you, grade 4? I hope you're all fine. Today we are going to have a reading session, and it's going to be another text for our new genre newspaper report. But before we start, I want to revise the features with you. Okay, so let's start. Number 1, it includes headline. The headline, it's like the title of the report. Okay, but in the newspaper report, it's called headline. Number 2, it includes byline. In the byline, here you are going to find the name of the reporter. Okay, so the byline includes the name of the reporter, the person who wrote this report. Number 3, it's written in columns. And you are going to find that the newspaper report has a different layout from other genres, as the page is divided into columns, and you are going to see that in your text today. Number 4, it includes quotes. Okay, so the features are very easy. Okay, so let's start today's text. I want you please to bring the reading booklet, page 100. Okay, I'm going to read each part with you, then we are going to analyze it, and at the end we are going to answer the questions together. Okay, so let's start. The crash. Here the crash is the headline of the report. It's like the title of the report. Enka teacher from Mitchell was one of the deceased. The word deceased means dead. Other driver had no license. The word license is a document that allows or gives the permission for a person to drive. So without this document, you cannot drive. And this line is called an orientation. And the orientation could be a sentence or more that summarizes what the text is talking about. And in this orientation, it gives brief answers for the questions of who was involved and what happened. Donnie Wisser. Okay, so here you are going to find the name of the reporter, the person who wrote this report. Let's read the first part, and the first part of the report is very important because it answers the most important questions of the report. And the first part also summarizes what the whole text will talk about. Okay, so let's read it. 5 men were killed in a head-on collision. Head-on collision, it's a crash of 2 cars that are moving directly towards each other. In Ledger, it's a place. Early Thursday morning, no one involved survived. So here, no one was alive. So the first part answered the most important questions of what happened? A collision or a crash happened. Where did it happen? He's asking here about the place in Ledger. When did it happen? He's asking here about the time, Thursday morning. Who was involved? Who are the people in this accident? 5 men. So can you see here how the first part is very important? Then the rest of the report is going to be details of what happened. Let's read it. There were 4 men in a Chevrolet pickup truck traveling north on Highway 226 towards Bakersville, and 1 man in a Range Rover traveling south. So here we have 2 cars, Chevrolet pickup truck traveling north and a Range Rover traveling south. So let's see what happened. Dan Harmon with the North Carolina Highway Patrol Investigative Unit. Okay, so this is a police officer who was responsible to watch over this area. Okay, to make sure that everything is fine. He said, the Chevrolet was in the wrong lane. The word lane means road. And the Rover tried to avoid the truck by swerving into the left lane. Swerving means to change the direction suddenly. The truck swerved, causing the collision. So this is how the accident happened, okay, or the crash happened. So here, Dan Harmon is the eyewitness. An eyewitness is someone who saw what happened. So it makes the story credible. So everyone is going to believe this story. Why? Because there was someone who really saw what happened, okay? Then in the next part, we are going to have detailed information about the people who were involved, the people who were inside, okay, or were the victims of this accident or this crash, okay? Jimmy Dotz, 58, this was his age, from Mitchell County, was driving the Land Rover. The driver in the truck was Roberto Sixtos, 21 of Marion. So here we have 2 drivers. Okay, the driver of the Land Rover was Jimmy Dotz, and the driver of the truck was Roberto Sixtos. The occupants of the truck, occupants are the people who were inside the car. The occupants of the truck were Gabriel Isidro Ruiz, 24 of Burnsville, Rogelio Magana, 20 of McDowell County, and Melchor Garcias Macias, approximate age 40 of McDowell County. So this part includes the people who were involved in this crash. Dots and Sixto both were wearing their seatbelts at the time of the crash, but the Highway Patrol's office in Burnsville said they were unable to determine if the other 3 occupants in this truck had their seatbelts on. So here we are sure that Dots and Sixtos both were wearing their seatbelts, but we are not sure whether the other occupants were wearing their seatbelts or not. Sixtos didn't have a valid driver's license. The word valid means legally and officially acceptable. So here Sixtos was mistaken. It was his mistake because he didn't have a driver's license. Preliminary reports. Preliminary means the initial or the first reports determined there wasn't any alcohol involved. So it means that they were not drunk. But there will be a toxicology report done on all 5 victims. A toxicology means a scientific study of poisons. So they are going to make sure that these people were not poisoned. Dots was a teacher at Enka High School in Asheville. So what was his job? He was a teacher. We're all in shock right now, said Enka Vice Principal Connie Jones. Okay, so here Vice Principal means the assistant of the principal or the assistant of the head teacher of this school. And here, this is a quote that's used to express the people's feeling about what happened. So here the Vice Principal is expressing her sadness about what happened. She described Dots as the word respected means loved and admired by everyone because of his good qualities and his good behavior. And a dedicated teacher. The word dedicated means spends all his time and effort on work. Dots' wife, Carolyn Dots, is a teacher at Greenlee Primary School. His 2 adult children are David Dots and Jeremy Dots. So here we have Dots' wife was called Carolyn and his children were David and Jeremy. He was a man of integrity. The word integrity means that he was an honest man. Jimmy and Carolyn were about to celebrate 36 years of marriage this June. Dots described her husband as a creative man. He did stained glass art. Stained glass art is a kind of art in which you can decorate and color windows and glass. So it's a kind of art. And they had a studio in their house. When he wasn't teaching his students at Enka High or working on his art, he was making everyone around him laugh. So he was a funny character. His wife wanted to thank everyone around her for their love and support. The word outpouring means the flow. The outpouring of love and support has made me feel a real part of this community, even though I wasn't raised here, she said. So here again we have many quotes to comment on this character. Okay, so this is for our text. If you have any problems, you want to ask any question concerning the text, you can ask me now. Then we are going to answer our questions.